To P1 Broadcasting. It's Friday night, and you know what that means. It's Murph, it's Sam, and welcome to the Hills of Connecticut, race fans. We are at Lime Rock Park for the Berkshire Mountains 150. Sam, I don't think I've ever seen anything as unnatural as a NASCAR truck trying to navigate Lime Rock Park. It's been interesting watching practice.
We've affectionately learned to call this place the rich man's playground. But just simply because of the vintage cars and the people that go out and race here on a regular basis. But truth be told, these trucks are in my personal opinion, they are a ton of fun to race at this particular racetrack. It's going to be the best of short track racing, but in the road course format. It's really going to be good. It
is. We saw the Indy cars come here earlier this year. This is going to be a little on P1 for the Indy Open top split. This is going to be a little bit different. This track is located in Lakeville, Connecticut, and as you can see, it fits in one not so far away helicopter shot. The whole track is only 7 turns. You go down the long front straightaway there. That is also known as the Sam Posey straight. We can debate more on the merits of Sam Posey if you wish later on, Sam. I'll take the Uncle Bobby side of that one.
I will leave that up to you.
I'll take Uncle Bobby's side in that one. But they're going to haul down that long front straightaway into turns 1 and 2. That's a double apex, and it's called Big Bend. You go around that right-hander, that 180-degree whip, and you approach turn 3. That's called simply the left-hander. You get off the left-hander, you sling it back over to the left and set up for turn number 4, which is shockingly, Sam, named the right-hander.
The right-hander.
The right-hander. Once you get off the right-hander, you've got kind of a snaky straight that doesn't have a name. It's literally the no-name straight. And you get to the very back part of the course on the left side of your screen there. That is the uphill. That is a very quick flick to the right. It is uphill. And as the trucks crest that hill, well, they're going to want to take off. They go down the back straight from there to turn number 6. That is a right-hander. It's called West Bend. It's very quick. Again, right-hander. And then the downhill is also a right-hander, turn 7. Also very fast. And back onto the front stretch. A lap here is less than a minute. The track distance, Sam, 1.53 miles. Track record? Yeah, the track record held by Juan Manuel Fangio the second, and an Eagle Mark III, a Dan Gurney Eagle Mark III Toyota, 45.1 seconds. Of course, that's a full ground effects IMSA GTP from the unrestricted days, but that's hauling the mail, Sam.
Oh, that's blindingly fast for this track.
It is indeed. Sam, we would be remiss if we didn't check the order. There are some guys here that do have road racing pedigrees. Logan Edwards, he would be circling among the favorites. He was the winner the last time this series went to a road course. Of course, you got James Hodgson. He is my endurance teammate. He and I are going to tee it up in the iRacing 6 hours of the Glen tomorrow morning, bright and early. So no celebration for James. He's got a race with me tomorrow. Of course, he'll probably want a refreshment after that's over with. Matt Wagner in the field. He's a noted IndyCar driver, very good road racer. So you do have some guys that are pretty good at road racing. But Sam, I'll give you 3 guesses, brother. Who's sitting on top of the leaderboard? Practice.
I think actually we need to just ask who's in second at this particular point.
So second on the speed chart for practice, that's Kendall Paul. Logan Edwards third, Chad Winstead fourth, Kylan Wilson rounds out the top 5. Matt Sizzler. Matt Sizzler is a driver from the NTRL that has followed us over and joined the AMA, and so we'd love to welcome Matt Sizzler. That's a quick shoe, Sam. He was very fast in that series, and so many thanks to the NTRL. They were the first series that gave me a chance to produce a race, and it's kind of cool to see some of their drivers showing up. So welcome to Matt Sizzler. He's currently 6th. James Hodgson, if the trauma of racing a truck at Lime Rock isn't enough, he gets to spend 6 hours tomorrow with me, Sam. We're going to stream that live on my Facebook channel. That's Mark Murphy Racing. If you want to see high comedy, Sam, please tune it in.
Oh, only if there's going to be a Brian Sharp sighting.
We don't let Sharp anywhere near the competitive GTP effort. I am very much in favor, Sam, of winning those races. We came so close last year. I got out of the car with an hour left in the lead. The rains came and mistakes got made after I had left the car, and they brought it home second. But we were in position to win that race last year, and so that's one that I would dearly love to do, the Daytona 24. Now that Indy's off the list, I can start working towards some other things, right?
Oh no, I understand completely. I've got quite a bit of work left for myself to get ready for the 24 hours of Spa. So we have an entry for that race, and I have some homework to do as well.
Is that GT3s only, or do they do prototypes?
Yes, GT3s.
Yeah,
yes.
so I think we might. I think we might pull the Black Magic Corvette out for that one and see what we can do. I told Seb Alexander I was going to enter the iRacing Firecracker, but I would only do it if he would paint me a car if he would paint me a Hot Rod Lincoln. No Monte Carlo, Monte Carlo Thunderbird. Well, we're trying to figure out how to do it. So no Monte Carlo, no Buick.
Is Matthew McConaughey going to help drive it for you?
No, but I wonder if we could talk to...
That's a Lincoln lawyer reference, by the way.
No, I know, and I wonder if we could, because Brendan Lichtenberg has the JFK spotter pack, Team I5G, the noted streamer. I wonder if we can get a Matthew McConaughey Lincoln spotter pack.
Oh, now that sounds promising.
I could race the Hot Rod Lincoln, but we're looking into that, Sam. But there are things that I want to do that aren't in Indy cars yet, so we're working on those. We've got about 45 seconds in practice. The race here tonight is a 100-lapper. Stages are 35 and 70, Sam, so I wouldn't anticipate any situationships where we're in any danger on fuel or tires. The danger, as you can see...
From avoiding cars that lose it on the track.
Yeah, the danger is going to be avoiding the walls, the runoff, that stream that runs behind the front straight, and really
that first kink after the right-hander where the tire barrier is. Of course, the crest of the uphill, and then turn one at the bend is really, really tricky, especially at the beginning of the race on starts and restarts.
It is. Thankfully, there is a ton of runoff room down there.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of runoff room in most areas here. The one that sticks out that doesn't have a lot, the downhill does not have a lot of runoff, and neither does the uphill. If you go off in those places, you're going to hit something hard.
And you're going to hit hard.
Yep. But that is enough of the pre-race show. We're going to head right into qualifying. Great to have everybody here. Big crowd on hand for the pre-race show, Sam. Do appreciate everybody. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video. Ring the bell to subscribe to the P1 Broadcasting Network. And we're going to jump right in here. Let's hop on board with David Dunwoody. Now, this will be interesting, Sam, because Dunwoody is not a noted road racer.
I had an interesting... After the Grand National race last night, I had a little bit of time to join those guys in conversation. It was interesting just to hear some of the war stories that David Dunwoody has, and so I was appreciative he and Kendall Paul and a couple of others that took the time to really share with me some of their experiences. It was good.
Hopefully they didn't tell any terrible ones on me, because they've got a few.
Actually, I'm trying to be very kind.
They told you all the shenanigans that I've pulled, huh?
No, not all of them. I'm sure they've got a few aces up their sleeve. As Dunwoody takes the green flag.
Now, one of the cool things here about Lime Rock is you'll notice on the left, there's all that runoff I was talking about going through Big Bend. There's one, there's two. Most tracks just have a 3-2-1 for the foot markers going into a braking zone. This track tells you 600 feet in advance, Sam, and that's pretty unique. Down the no-name straight. Watch his hands. If you get this wrong, this is through the uphill, and this is where it will launch you if you're not careful. He gets it right there.
It's incredibly light at the crest of that hill.
Yes, it does. I was actually telling Kendall, I was surprised they didn't run the motorcycle course here, which cuts out some of those corners and it makes for a bigger braking zone at turn 4 and turn 6. Thinking it might help the racing a little bit. David Dunwoody.
See Andy drive it incredibly deep into one, and that's really one of the most common things that drivers do here in these trucks is they want to overdrive the first corner. But you brought out a really interesting point, is that they really have to utilize those markers that you were talking about, and they start not very far after the start finish line. That stick shows up pretty quick, so you really want to pay close attention and utilize those marks so that you can get the best approach into one and stick to the curve so that you can work through the left and the right hander.
Yes, you do. We've got the number 17 of Matt Wagner poised on our screen, and we'll show his run from the outside should he choose to make it. Of course, now he's decided to understand that he's on TV and he's going to sit still, and so Matty Wag sits at the end of pit
Since
lane.
when has Wagner been shy about being on TV?
We don't know. Do want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat. Keep those chats coming. Donald Green is here. Christina Day Bassett cheering on Liam. Cheering on Liam Anderson. Of course, Carrie Alwell is here for Billy, and so
welcome back, Carrie. You've been missed. We appreciate you tuning in.
Yes, we do. We're waiting on Matt Wagner to get going. There he goes.
Yeah, if he doesn't go soon, he's going to run out of time here. So,
but there he is, and there you see
there he goes. There he goes.
Yeah, there he goes, and you see the violent way that truck slams down on the front whenever you hit the brakes on it. So that's always kind of interesting. But here he is. So he's going through again. This is what these corners look like from the outside now. Through turn 4 and down the no-name straight toward the uphill. Watch this truck as he crests the hill. Do you see that thing almost lift off there, Sam?
Yeah. Yeah, and you can hear the RPMs actually increase as you go over the crest. And right here on the downhill is the same way. It can do the same thing. You'll get increased RPMs. You could get tire spin. It's just as equally dangerous when you're going down the downhill right there.
Yeah, it is, and it's really easy to do this too. He overcooks it
so hard into one.
Yeah, it's really easy, especially on cold tires, to overcook that. To overcook that corner. And that's why I said you can make this, if you run the motorcycle course here, you can make this a not very technical, you can make this a very technical and slow track, which is what some series that run here choose to do. Ken Dale's decided to make him run it the hard way. There you can see the alternate.
I think adding the skill level it really just increases not just the excitement of watching the race, but it also challenges these drivers how to push the truck in the right places and finesse it in others. It's in my opinion, that's the way road courses should be, is that you should have those technical sections where you really have to finesse the car or the truck, and then have those fast sections where you're really literally just holding on to the testosterone that you're feeling to make it through those sections as well. So I like the balance myself, to be honest.
I do too. Do want to thank, speaking of balance, do want to thank our friends at SimWrap Market for providing the cameras tonight. Do visit them if you have any camera needs for tracks that aren't provided for by our good friends at Whiplash Sim Cams. We don't have Whiplash cams for Lime Rock, and so SimWrap Market graciously agreed to step in and give us their product, even though the billboard says Whiplash at the top. So thanks to SimWrap Market for the one race program tonight.
Wagner's on pace for a decent lap here.
Yeah, here he is. He's going to stop the watch at 54,297, and that is going to put him 11th quick. Now, everybody has taken time, with the exception of Brian Sharp and Jalen Story. Now, I had understood, as Wagner decides he's going to destroy concrete barriers, as I understood, Brian Sharp was anticipating starting and parking in this one, so he may not be taking time. No idea on Jalen's story, but Brian Sharp had indicated he may start and park this one and just do it from the tower. And so we've got a couple of minutes left. Really, Justin We'll go ahead and put Justin Osterman up here. He's, of course, Mr. Excitement, but he just killed his lap. Wagner is once again sitting. Well, he's doing donuts.
He's doing donuts at the end of the runoff in turn one. He knows he's on TV. I told you there's nothing shy about Wagner when he knows that he's on the broadcast.
Well, we won't. We're not going to show that, Sam. I got better things to show than Matty Wagner doing donuts.
I do want to point out that the one-armed bandit, Ryan O'Donohue, has turned one amazingly blistering lap. He is.
Yeah, I mean that's a heck of a lap. 50.
That is insanely fast.
Yeah, he's 4/10 quicker than Kendall Paul on the outside pole, and he's got everybody from row 3 on back faded by a full second. That's
exactly right. Yeah.
That's an insane level of skill.
It's impressive.
It is. Now, what Ryan O'Donoghue's going to have to navigate here, though, tonight, he's going to have to navigate that first. He's really going to have to navigate the first. I don't want to say first couple of laps, but he's really going to have to navigate the first turn 1, the first turn 5, and the first turn 7. If he can draw away, I don't think Kendall Paul is going to do anything wild and throw one inside. Chad Winstead, Logan Edwards, Matt Sizzler, they're all known quantities. So is James Hodgson. They're not gonna do anything wild. Where I look for the action to come from is anywhere between 10th and 15th, and there's a driver between 10th and 15th that I've got circled as the likely center of that action, Sam. Justin Osterman is starting 11th, and then you've got Matt Wagner and Paul Witt. Those are two pretty quick guys. They're 12th and 13th.
I agree.
I'd be looking for a lot of fun to happen when we get that first when we go through that first turn number 1 from that group right there. You've also got Colby Pearson 10th. He's known as a guy that can turn in a single quick lap on a road course, but he's also noted to not be very consistent, and so all of those things contribute. We are 10 seconds now from the start of the Berkshire Mountains 150, Sam.
And one notable missing driver tonight is Chad Doulabon. Chad Doulabon is not in the field tonight.
You know, that's a great point, Sam. Great.
That was something that caught my attention during practice, that we had not had a Doulabon sighting, and Chad has won several races in the series this year, but he's not here for the road course. So maybe he decided that his playoff bid is secure, and he's just going to take a night off.
He may have indeed. On the pole, Ryan O'Donoghue, the one-armed bandit, 52.529. He'll start alongside Kendall Paul. Chad Winstead, Logan Edwards make up road number 2 on loan from the NTRL series. It's going to be Matt Sizzler, the number 35. He's going to start 5th. James Hodgson is going to go 6th. Kylan Wilson and Chuck Sweeting are going to start 7th and 8th. Billy Elwell, Colby Pierce, 9th and 10th. In 11th, Justin Osterman, 12th, Matty Wagner. That's going to be the excitement row on the start, Sam. You're going to have to watch out for that one. Osterman and Wagner, that's row 6. Paul Witt, John Hutchins, they make up row 7. Jim Duda, Liam Anderson are on row number 8. David Dunwoody, Barry Seaman, row 9. Keith Graham and Jeremy Dunwoody, they're going to make up row number 10. 21st is going to start Donald Green. 22nd, Brian Sharp. Jalen Story will go 23rd. That is your starting lineup here at Lime Rock Park, Sam.
And this is a great field for this racetrack. I mean, you really, in all essence, you don't want to get too many trucks out here because it really can cause a lot of chaos. But I think that this is an excellent number of trucks for this field, and I'm really looking forward to see what kind of racing it produces.
I am too. And you've got just about the right amount. You've got some guys that are you've
Yeah.
got some guys that are quick. You've got some guys that aren't very quick. You've got everything in the middle. It should be a good mix. It's not like you're going to have some of the best racing on road courses and short tracks is not when everybody is right together perfect, is it?
No, by no means. But it's like that. It's going to be like that in many of these iRacing events. That you're going to have a segment. You're going to have about 5 racers that are going to be incredibly quick, and then, like you said, it's going to be a balance where you're going to have to work with different levels of road racing skill. And that's really kind of where we're at in these particular races. And the leaders, the fast drivers, are going to have to really get in their head to be patient when they start catching the back of the field.
They will. If you ever wanted to look at what it looks like inside the pace car in iRacing, there you go, race fans. The Porsche 911 pace car. That's you're right in a passenger seat. It's not a bad looking whip, is it, Sam?
No, sir. No, sir.
It's
I'm trying to look at. We already had a little festivity on the paddock area. Just trying to see who was involved here. It looks like it was Colin Wilson, and then he got into the back of someone. But there was a little contact there. I'll be interested to see how it kind of plays out.
Gotcha. So what we're going to do here for you fans, Eric Corder tunes it in. This is going to be great. He loves the track. I'm loving what's about to happen. This is going to be a fun show. When the pace car pulls off, we're gonna get in the flag or go to the flag stand just like we normally do, and then I'm going to show you guys that sky cam view just as we did before. The green flag is out. We're underway 150 miles at Lime Rock Park.
Those belts. Here comes the first corner.
That's
Justin Osterman, 3 wide already.
Everybody makes it through turn number 1. All the way down now to turn number 2. Sam, are they going to make it through 3 and 4?
Well, you really hope these guys understand that these cold tires are going to be just slippery, and they want to make sure that they can get through this first lap and get some heat in those tires before they start making decisions. It's already hard enough to make overcoming decisions about passing here, because there's only really a couple of key places that you can do that. And so if you push the issue, you can put yourself in a lot of jeopardy, as well as the driver that you're trying to pass.
You can indeed. Ryan O'Donohue isn't putting himself in any jeopardy, Sam. He has reached out and raced away from Chad Winstead, not Winston. You can tell I haven't smoked a cigarette in about 6 weeks, can't you? Chad Winstead is second. Kendall Paul third. Logan Edwards fourth. And Matt Sizzler in the Birdies machine. He is now fifth. So excellent series debut for Matt Sizzler. Kylan Wilson sixth. James Hodgson seventh. Billy Elwell. Great run for Billy. He is in eighth. And then we've got Justin Osterman ninth. Mr. Excitement is making up spots, Sam.
Yes, he is already moved up to ninth spot. He's trying to catch Billy Elwell here. Billy Elwell is the one that got into the back of Colin Wilson there on the grid. For some reason, Wilson did not get moving right away, and apparently Billy Elwell kind of thought that he would be, and so he got into the back. So it does look like Billy Elwell does have a minor amount of damage the front of the truck, but I don't know that's going to play any part in his run tonight.
Yeah, aerodynamics not huge in the truck to begin with, and then they're not huge here either. You can tell, my goodness sakes, we're looking out the visor of Justin Osterman, and you can just see how much the number 67 of Billy Elwell, the CHEP truck, is moving around. That thing is moving around a lot, Sam. He's having a heap of trouble keeping that thing straight. The other bit is,
you see how loose that truck gets at the top of the cresting of that hill. It's going to take a lot of mental fortitude to navigate that for an entire race. And now Elwell swings it wide, and Osterman will now pass him crossing the start-finish line and go into 1, and he moves up to 8th position now.
Yep, Kylan Wilson also got by Matt Sizzler, so move Kylan Wilson from 6th to 5th. You see that battle in front of these two. This is the closest one on the track. We're going to get on board with Billy Elwell now. We'll look through and see what he sees. But look at how much he's countersteering that car or that truck. Every corner is a fight for Billy Elwell.
Oh, and now he's completely sideways. Elwell saved it. Oh my heavens!
But the 75 of Chuck, but the 75 of Chuck Sweeting could not capitalize because poor Sweeting came over the uphill, got airborne, had to lift. They're side by side now, going down toward the downhill, turn number 7. Yeah, that was wild.
And that is how you overtake at Lime Rock.
That is how you overtake at Lime Rock, right there. Justin Osterman gets past both of them. He's now working on James Hodgson, Matt Sizzler, and Kylan Wilson. So he's joined that battle.
Oh, now we have a truck that's in the grass. Jeremy Dunwoody is pulled over. I don't know if he's just letting faster traffic through and just trying to
that's
not get in the way.
That's exactly what he's doing. Donald Green also has the meatball. He must respect it, and he's on the pit lane. Let's go back and see if we can find out what has befallen poor Donald Green. He has had, if it wasn't for bad luck, Donald Green wouldn't have any luck at all. Let's see if we can.
Donald was not very. Donald was he was excited to be able to participate tonight, but he really hasn't had a lot of confidence about what his skill level would be in this particular race, and so if he's already befallen to unfortunate circumstances already and put him in the pit area, and he had already been making comments about just trying to survive.
Yeah, and so it doesn't survive for Donald, and that's a shame. We'll get back up here. Ryan O'Donoghue is your leader. There he is. Again, watch this as he comes down toward turn 1. We'll show you a lap of Ryan O'Donoghue's now. We haven't shown the leader, but here's Ryan O'Donoghue, and I want fans to pay particular attention to when Ryan gets down to turn number 5. This is 1 and 2. And look at how smooth he is, Sam. We saw Billy Elwell sawing on the 67. The 14 truck at the front, it doesn't look like he's fighting that thing at all, does it? Just smooth as glass.
I'll tell you, last night, Mark, what I did was I caught Ryan O'Donoghue after the Grand National race last night. Ryan O'Donoghue is event after event being consistently the fastest in practice, the fastest in qualifying, or always up front. So I took a minute after all had settled down last night and went and talked to Ryan O'Donoghue just to get into his head a little bit and find out what he was feeling and what was going on. And he told me, he said, "Sam, it's like a kick in the gut that I cannot seem to put one together."
Well, I tell you what, it's going to be a kick in the butt if Brian Sharp doesn't get out of the way, because here comes O'Donoghue. He is going to avoid Brian Sharp, who is moving very slowly. Jalen Story is in that same boat.
Oh.
Go ahead, Sam.
Brian Sharp he definitely had a handful of trucks.
Yeah, and this is scary for O'Donoghue because you've got trucks like Sharp and Story. Barry Seaman is going to be up next here in a little bit. You've got some trucks out here that are not moving at the same pace he is, and especially when they blink, Jalen Story disappears and reappears. But those trucks start blinking around.
Oh, he gets loose in front of him.
Yeah, that's not an easy thing to do, and it's pretty unnerving when you're the class of the field like this. Ryan O'Donoghue will make it past. He'll continue in the lead, but that let Chad Winstead gain a second.
Right. It knocked his lead in half. The lap before he was at 2.9, and then this lap by, Chad Winstead closed it within 1.47. But as Ryan O'Donoghue can build these leads like that, he can take his time around that lap traffic.
Yeah, and he's already pulled it back out to almost 2 seconds. So let's just kind of see what we've got here and see what's what. There's Ryan O'Donohue in the number 14. He is your leader. Kendall Paul is classified second. He has gotten around Chad Winstead. There's Kendall, and then our 78 Blue Beacon truck wash machine. Chad Winstead runs third, the familiar green and blue 34 for Pilot John. Behind him is the old narc brain. That's Logan Edwards, and there he is in the 49. New paint scheme for Logan this week. New paint scheme for him this week on the truck, but there he is.
Well, after dominating that Daytona road course, Logan Edwards was pretty optimistic about coming into the event, but he also alluded that he understood that there would be guys that really understood this truck at this particular track, and he knew the competition level would be a little different.
Yeah. Oh, for certain, sure. Kylan Wilson, this is a newer driver in the series, the 21 Verizon machine. It says keep 500 feet back on the back of that thing, but he currently runs fifth. He's putting a lap on Jalen's Story there. Right behind him, Matt Sizzler in the three birdies machine. I wish I could find three birdies on a golf course, Sam. And now this is dangerous. James Hodgson, he's going to make it 3 wide.
It incredibly deep.
Well, he had Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman, on his 6, trying to make that move.
Oh, they're going to fight this out.
Yeah, they are. The Dazzle camouflage machine behind the three birdies car of Sizzler, that's James Hodgson, and then we're watching Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman, and I think we're going to stick with that for just a second here, Sam, because there is not much that Osterman won't do. We've got a truck in the wall. That's Jeremy Dunwoody. Has collected the barrier here. So here's Dunwoody all alone going down through the no-name straight. And I'm going to bet you a dime he's going to lose this thing under brake, Sam.
Ron O'Donohue has just went off the track in turn 1.
There's O'Donohue, and let's see what's happened to O'Donohue. Well, he's coming around.
He was catching some lap trucks on the outside, and then as they go into 1, and then 55 just collects him hard into 1. Barry Seaman missed the braking point, and then he just takes out Ryan O'Donohue. And now Ryan O'Donohue has gathered it back up.
Yeah, he slid through that generous runoff area, down the shutdown area for the drag strip. He cost him
Barry Seaman. I don't know. I'm not sure why he decided that he was going to follow Ryan in there, but their braking points were 2 totally different things, and he pounded the 14.
The good news for Ryan O'Donohue is he's got so much speed. If he just relaxes, lets his tires cool off for a minute, he's going to be in good shape. Kendall Paul is your new leader after all that. Chad Winstead is second. Logan Edwards, the old narc brain, has moved it up to third. The one-armed bandit, though, he's back to 6th. He's going to start working on Matt Sizzler. He's already passed. When he came out, he blended in behind Osterman and Hodgson. He's already gone past them, and he'll start working on the three birdies machine of Matt Sizzler. But the red mist in the 14 has got to be pretty heavy. He took flight
he's
4 wheels.
With the visor up, that's for sure. He has to be driving with the visor up. He can't see if he's not.
Yeah, he had all 4 wheels.
The difference here is
going
to be, the difference in my opinion is that as he's working toward the top 5 drivers, it's not going to be easy passes. It's going to, as Sizzler goes in on the inside of Colin Wilson here.
Yep. So Sizzler is going to make the move into 4th. Wilson back to 5th. He's going to fall into the clutches of Ryan O'Donohue. The other issue here, Sam, is there's really only one good passing zone here at Lime Rock, and that's in the turn 1.
Turn 1. Yeah.
You might be able to make something happen down into turn 5 down here, and but it's very difficult. The other bit is, you're lapping trucks, and so, Ryan O'Donohue has to be treating those lap machines with the same amount of care that one might treat a venomous snake. But watch, he's gonna get such a good run here. And he's so much later on the brakes. He's gonna try to round up Wilson or at least get close. They've pulled away from James Hodgson now.
Yeah,
6/10 of a
he'll
second.
get close. I just don't think he's in an overtake place here.
Whoa! Did you see how far Hodgson came back there? James Hodgson picked up 0.2 of a second in that braking zone. That was wild.
He's been doing that with Osterman most of the races as they've been fighting it out for the majority of this event. He and Osterman have been going at it back and forth, and Hodgson is consistently been really, really diving it in deep and using a lot of brake.
O'Donoghue on board with him now. Just got to be careful not to hurt himself, not to hurt the truck. Remember too, Sam.
A 2-second lead to an 11-second deficit. It's really got to get into your head, but I'm sure Ryan will allow cooler thoughts to prevail, and
it does work. Well, it
pick up
does.
some positions here.
It does work on him, but you have to remember we're gonna have a stage break at 35. So
right, and the field will close back up. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
But he wants to try and make up as many positions under green as he can.
Right, he most certainly does. Let's get back going through talking about some of the other drivers in the field, though. Chuck Sweeting, we haven't mentioned him, and that's a different look than we're used to seeing for Chuck. An all-black machine with just some chrome work on it. Haven't seen that from him. We're used to more purple on that truck, but purple wheels nonetheless. Right. There's Chuck Sweeting. He is 9th. Colby Pierce rounds out your top 10, and that's whoa! That is a good run for Colby Pierce. He is a couple of seconds clear of Billy Elwell in 11th, and there's Billy in the 67 Chevrolet.
Now Osterman really dives it in hard into Hodgson here, and Colin Wilson swings it out wide, and that opens the door a little bit for Ryan O'Donoghue to get a little closer. It's taken him a couple of laps to try and set up something here. He may have used up a lot of tire in that spin, is why he's just kind of equalized a little bit out.
Well,
Wilson gets a little loose off the right-hander.
Yeah, you gotta let him cool off too, Sam. O'Donoghue is much faster, I think, than Wilson. It's just a matter of finding his spot to do it. He had been close.
It seems like where he wants to do it is where and now Wilson swings wide, and Ryan O'Donoghue takes complete advantage of that.
Yeah.
And that's the other way that passes happen. Ooh, and Hodgson and Osterman just take it from Wilson.
Yeah, you talk about give and take. That was all take. There
was no give at all. In fact, they took the right front bumper from Wilson as they pass him. And now we see Sisler is completely wide in one, and that allows O'Donoghue to close a big gap on him coming into the left-hander. But I was going to say that those mistakes are the other way that you can capitalize on passing here at Lime Rock, is that sometimes drivers lose their concentration, or just the most minute of mistakes can cause them to lose momentum. And that's how you make a lot of passes as well.
Well, or you're like me, and you're thinking, man, I know the guy that's fastest in practice, the pole sitter, the guy that led the first 10 laps of this thing. He's he's pulling away, and he's somehow something's happened to him, and now he's behind me. Don't screw up, don't screw up, don't screw up, and then you screw up because you're so focused on that instead of just hitting
driving
the marks.
In the mirror. Yeah,
you're driving in the mirror.
There's a reason why the windshield is bigger than the rear view. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but Ryan O'Donoghue, to tell you what kind of pressure he's going to be putting on Matt Sisler. Last time through, Sisler 54,885, 54,484 for O'Donoghue. So 4/10 quicker for O'Donoghue on Sisler and Winstead. He's 2/10 quicker than Logan Edwards. The fastest car, or the fastest truck on the racetrack right now, though, Sam, that's your leader, Kendall Paul. How about that?
Kendall showed a lot of speed in practice and in qualifying. He qualified P2. And even though he was 4/10 slower than Ryan O'Donoghue in qualifying, it doesn't mean that he has a slow truck tonight. And now O'Donoghue catches Andy Dunwoody here and really catches him in a good spot here. Dunwoody moves safely over to the right, gives O'Donoghue some room.
Yeah, David's going to do that. Do want to thank everybody who's tuned it in. We do have another massive crowd here for the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. As a reminder, if you haven't done it, make sure you Smash the like button on the video, ring the bell to subscribe to P1, and be notified of all future P1 Broadcasting iRacing events. This is the AMA Industrial Coatings Truck Series live from Lime Rock Park. Mark Murphy, Sam Crow on the call. We're watching Ryan O'Donoghue as he navigates traffic and tries to catch the three birdies machine of Matt Sisler. He is all over it. He was only a tenth quicker that time, though, Sam. But they are both reeling in Chad Winstead as well. The problem for them is Winstead is 6 seconds, 7 seconds up the road.
I did notice that we were watching that pack of that pack that was racing with Ryan O'Donoghue, with James Hodgson, Justin Osterman. Osterman must have run into a little misfortune as he's dropped all the way back to ninth now. Oh, and now he gets into the door of Chuck Sweeting, and he's trying to work his way back up to where he was behind James Hodgson, and he is going to be battling it out with Colin Wilson here. Colin Wilson again here to try and get back. Oh, he's right on the bumper of Wilson.
Yeah, here they go down the no-name straight toward turn number 5. The uphill is coming. Osterman is coming. And there you get a good sense of the trucks lifting off. But if Osterman feels like he's got an advantage, he is going to take it. Maybe a little tap to the back of the rear bumper of Kylan Wilson there.
Oh, that's a big tap.
Yeah, that wasn't a little tap. That was a, hey, I'm here, I'm faster, let me go.
That was more like a knock than a tap.
Well, and here's the thing. When you're the bull in the china shop like that, he may have bullied his way past Chuck Sweeting, but now he's stuck behind Kylan Wilson, who is not going to let him go. Kylan Wilson is more than within his rights to race for that spot, and he's fallen back into the clutches of Chuck Sweeting. And you bully your way past a guy once, he gets you.
Oh, again, he's really trying to force the truck at this point. Oh, and now he's in the door of Chuck Sweeting again.
Well, and Sweeting's not gonna. Well, he lifted there into the uphill, but I kind of just said, if you're the bull in the china shop going through the field and you start falling back into the clutches of one of the guys that you just knocked out of the way, you can expect that the favor might be returned, Sam, at some point.
You never know where a receipt's coming from. You really don't, especially if you race that way with the wrong person. There could be a receipt.
Well,
at
and
any point. And
that's the thing. Justin Osterman has raced that way with a lot of guys in this field, and Kylan Wilson is not giving him the room, right?
No. Kylan took a very defensive line going into one there, and Osterman tried to pass him on the outside, and now Osterman's just trying to persuade him heavily to get out of the way.
Persuasion not worked. Kylan Wilson holds his line, and this may be one of those receipts from past events, Sam, that we were kind of talking about.
Right. We something may have happened between these two drivers to send Osterman back, because it was an aggressive pass earlier by Osterman, and so we don't know, but I know that Wilson has profusely apologized to the 53 in-game chat. So it's just interesting now that Osterman has a little better line going into one. Oh, and Wilson really squeezes him down there, and now he runs him up the racetrack.
Yeah,
it's getting really, really, really.
That was. We're gonna replay that, and as always here at P1, we're gonna let the fans decide. They got in there pretty hard on the brakes, and Kylan Wilson comes off second best. And what's crazy about that deal, Sam, is it winds up costing Osterman both time and another spot.
Yeah, the net gain for Osterman is 0.
Well, he lost time, so it's a net loss.
Yeah, well, not just the time, but he lost the position because Chuck Sweeting, while they're going, having their discussion, Chuck Sweeting goes right by and takes the spot.
Well, and not only that, but that's just going to give a chance for Kylan Wilson to catch right back up to him. And you said it, Sam. You never know when somebody's going to return. When somebody's going to cash in one of those favors that you've done to them. And
that's the thing about receipts. You can bring them back to the customer service department at any time, really, honestly.
And that's very true. And the other thing is, race drivers do not ever forget. I can't remember.
Like elephants.
I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. I can tell you
But
the. I can
but you were
tell.
telling me about the rain event at Watkins Glen last year.
Yeah, but I can remember in detail exactly where some son of a gun ran me off the road 4 years ago in a meaningless IR18 race on a Wednesday night that didn't mean anything, right? And I can tell you exactly where it was, what I was doing, what I had for dinner that night, what time it was, but I can't tell you. I can't tell you what I did at work today, Sam. But race drivers do not forget, is the point. And so my point is that Osterman has a lot of receipts laying around, and at some point, if he doesn't change his ways, those are going to get cashed. Not saying
Well,
he,
as we've been
not saying he was right or
as
wrong
we
there,
have
Sam.
been watching all these festivities about what's going on, we have a new leader.
Yeah, it's the narc brain, Logan Edwards. He's made his way past Kendall Paul and driven off into the sunset. We also have Chad Winstead working his way through traffic, and he's caught Kendall Paul while we were watching golden bowling balls playing out in the midfield. We've had a pass for the lead, and Kendall Paul is fixing to lose second to Chad Winstead, and the next truck up for bids in this line. I mean, it's 6 seconds back, but that's the one-armed bandit, Ryan O'Donohue. He has not given up. He's made his way past Matt Sisler and moved Ryan O'Donohue to fourth. We'll keep the battle here. This is the battle for second. Chad Winstead looking for it on Kendall Paul.
And that's one thing that we have not discussed in this particular race, but because of the nature of the gearing in this truck, and the nature of this track too, there is a lot of rear tire spin, and so it's not unusual for a driver to wear the tires out quickly here based on how they're driving the truck, and so some drivers could burn those tires down quickly, and that tire wear will, where other drivers are just running a steady, consistent, smooth pace, are able to save more tire in the longer run. And that may be what we're seeing here with Logan Edwards, who has methodically worked his way up into the lead. And Chad Winstead all year long has proved that he is way more than patient to get his car or his truck up to the front. And Matt Wagner moves out of the way of Logan Edwards here.
I put the telemetry up just so you can kind of see the difference and the difference in philosophies. It's no surprise that Logan Edwards would be good on a long run here. He ran that IndyCar race that we had here, and one of the things that the fixed setup guys noticed was that you almost wanted to be in a gear higher than you thought you needed. So if you thought a corner was a second gear corner, you might be best served keeping it in third or fourth gear even. Just as a natural way to control that wheel spin, because you're right, like right here, Chad Winstead in third gear, that's really a second gear corner. But if you downshift all the way down, you're just going to light the tires up on exit. The other thing is all that shifting is hard on the transmission. It's also hard. On
the oil temp.
And for like Ryan O'Donohue, if you're fighting injury, it's hard on your hands.
This is very true.
There's Chad Winstead. He's going to pull out and make the move on.
He's
Kendall
doing a little
Paul.
peekaboo there on Kendall Paul. Kendall Paul's been racing long enough not to bite onto that.
Yeah, and we've only got 5 more laps in the stage. Ryan O'Donohue has pulled 3.5 seconds clear of Matt Sisler. He's not really catching this one as Jeremy Dunwoody has gone off again. That is the smoke that you see there in the infield.
Oh, and yeah, Dunwoody's off the racetrack again.
Yeah, Keith Graham has also pulled it off. Jalen Story has a meatball, as does Donald Green. Jalen Story is going to have to pull it onto the pit lane there. He is the Liam Anderson Motorsports machine is going to have to bring it to the pit lane. Smoke pouring from the back of that Chevrolet, and I don't believe that one is going to run much further, Sam. So Jalen Story is going to bring it to the pits and likely exit the event. Chad Winstead is trying to exit third into second.
I'm trying to look at the lap time here from Ryan O'Donohue. he had already knocked 2 seconds off of his approach to the leader, but it seems that Logan Edwards has really just found his stride in the long run here, and he's saved enough tire that he's pulling away from this crowd with each passing lap. He's done a great job of preserving the truck and getting the most out of it on the long run. And we don't know exactly how much. I know O'Donohue is running into some traffic here, and that could have slowed him down as well. There could be several factors, but we'll have a better idea where these two trucks stand up to one another in the next stage.
Yeah, and you were talking about roasting the rear tires, Kendall Paul, and we had noted that he was shifting a lot more in comparison to Chad Winstead. Look at Logan Edwards. He did the entire backside of the course in third gear. I would be willing to bet you. Now he's been in second gear for the whole top end. Now watch going down the back. He's going to hit third gear and he will not shift again for the remainder of the lap
until he gets on the front stretch. He will probably shift on the front stretch.
Well, he goes into second for the uphill, but from right here, he'll hit third gear and he's not going to leave that. Right, so
he'll stay with it there through the uphill.
Right, so he's only shifting
this crest here.
Yeah, so he's only shifting 4 times a lap. Kendall Paul, I think I counted 12.
Yeah. And this is exactly the shift pattern that I use at this particular racetrack. And then on the front stretch, you go to fourth gear, and then gear it back down for the technical part of the course. And in one here, you'll get
he's overshot it.
And Edwards drives it in hard, and he'll lose a big portion of his lead, but he is well out in front of these other drivers. He catches it, no harm done here.
He is.
He gets it back racing again.
He is. Now, we're going to go back to the battle for second because Chad Winstead has not stopped in his pursuit of second. We're going to jump on board with Chad Winstead. He's looking at Kendall Paul here, and he is trying everything in the book, Sam, to get by the 78.
I've seen the last couple of laps. Both these drivers have just had a handful of truck. Chad Winstead was completely sideways at one point and lost a little bit of space, but he closes right back up on Kendall Paul. And in all regards, these two drivers are racing hard, and there's nothing here that anyone would look at and think bad of. Kendall Paul is racing for his position, and Chad Winstead is trying to take it, and they're both doing a great job of doing it clean and smart.
Yes, they are. Down into turn number 1. Not close enough this time for Chad Winstead. We've only got...
Oh, look at Kendall Paul. Another handful of wheel there.
Yeah, he's doing everything he can. It's a matter of time. And give Kendall Paul all the kudos in the world, Sam, because he has not wilted under that pressure from Chad Winstead. Chad Winstead has done nothing but be all over the rear tailgate of that 78. And Kendall Paul hasn't budged. He hasn't moved. Look at how Chad Winstead laid black marks coming through there, Sam.
Speaking of black marks, I'm still watching Mr. Excitement. Justin Osterman is back here, and you'll never guess who he's chasing again. It's Chuck Sweeting.
It's Chuck Sweeting.
Jim Duda, unfortunately, had to get in the way of the 53 as he's trying to make up that ground. Colin Wilson is now making his way up into the fight up here. But Justin Osterman, he'll take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, but he's not giving up anything. He is racing everything he can get out of the gold wheels off of that 53 machine.
He is indeed. He's worth the price of admission. How's that? That's how I'll put it, Sam. He's worth the price of admission. Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman, he runs 8th. He's been as high as 7th. He's been as low as backwards.
Right.
And sometimes in the same lap. We should be getting the stage break at the end of this lap, by the way.
Yeah, no, we should be here at the completion of this lap. Logan Edwards has actually got his lead back of 4 seconds on second place Kendall Paul and Chad Winstead, and we are getting close to the pits have been closed, and we're getting to the end of this particular stage. As we see Chad Winstead is one more stab at trying to catch Kendall Paul here before the end of
before they throw it.
We only have 11 trucks on the lead lap now. Paul Witt's sitting in the lucky dog position.
Yeah, there it is. Caution is out.
And
So
there's
Paul Witt.
the caution.
Yeah, so Witt's going to be the lucky dog. Wags is going to be on the outside looking in. Of course, he may stay out. I don't know what the fuel mileage is here, Sam. But would it be safe to? Would they even be able to make it to the end of the second stage? Or are they gonna? Or do they have to stop for fuel?
Well, a mile and a half. I think that you would have to stop for fuel before you could get to 70 laps for sure.
Well,
but in all sincerity, you want fresh tires.
Yeah, no,
And after 35 laps, it's not going to hurt anything to get fresh tires now.
No, I was just curious if like Wagner, Hutchins, Duda, some of them guys might stay out. You're not going to get a full course yellow here, but
no, and that's why I said you may just want to have the benefit of getting the tires and just trying to race your way back up into the lucky dog, because getting cautions at this road course is just going to be slim to none. And you're just not going to be able to. If you do the wave around, then you're going to wind up pitting under green anyway, and you'd lose that lap back again in the long run.
Yeah, I gotcha.
However, you do have to take into consideration, and you're right in some regard, Mark. Trying to think of a strategy. It does take 50-something seconds to make a lap here, so you could probably pit at the tail end of the pack, pit, and not quite go a lap down and get back out in front of the leaders. It is possible.
It is possible. We're going to see everybody come on down to grab pit road. Do want to thank everybody who has tuned in to the P1 broadcasting presentation of the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. We do want to thank all of the sponsors here in the AMA, Admin Box, Black Magic Studios, Trak Racer, Rogue Energy Drink, and our title sponsor for the series, Archway Industrial Coatings. They're a St. Louis-based floor company that have been getting the job done for a number of years in that area. They do epoxy and urethane flooring solutions that withstand the test of time, all while meeting their customers' installation schedules and budgets. They're committed to doing the highest quality work at the lowest possible cost every time. They're a strong and stable company accredited by the Better Business Bureau, and you better believe that makes a difference. I had to utilize their services a couple of weeks ago. Highly satisfied with that. Their employees aren't fly-by-night laborers, but they're highly trained craftsmen that know the difference between a job and a job well done. I can tell you more about them, Sam, but they'd rather show you what matters more, the quality of the work. So take a moment to browse their gallery and then email or call them for a free quote, whether it's industrial flooring, commercial, restaurant, retail, or even concrete repair at home. Now you found the perfect partner to get the job done. Get ready to floor it with Archway, archwaycoatings.com. Sam, they do some good looking concrete work over there.
Oh, that's awesome. I wish they were closer to North Carolina. I'd take advantage of that.
I wish they were closer to South Bend. I need a new garage flooring. I could get down with that. Now, whether we could get Natalie to approve the cost of a new garage floor, that'd be something, wouldn't it?
Well, I know how that would play out.
I have to do a lot of broadcasting, get a new garage floor. So.
A lifetime of broadcasting.
I can't talk that much, Sam.
I disagree.
Out of pit road, Kendale Paul is going to be, Logan Edwards and Kendale Paul are going to be row 1. Winstead and Sizzler row 2. Hodgson, Sweeting 5th and 6th. Kylan Wilson, Justin Osterman 7th and 8th. Colby Pierce, Ryan O'Donohue was on pit road, was in his box for 38 seconds, and that tells me.
Well, he had that damage from where Seaman had run into the back of his truck.
Yeah, that tells me he had some significant repair. Billy Elwell, Paul Witt, Jim Duda, and David Dunwoody are the remainder of the lead lap. John Hutchins, Matt Wagner, Liam Anderson, 1 lap down. Barry Seaman, Barry Seaman, my goodness sakes. Barry Seaman, 2 laps down, Jeremy Dunwoody, 9. Jalen Story is on the pit lane with the meatball and a blown engine. He is 11 laps down. Keith Graham, Brian Sharp, and Donald Green have all ejected from the session. They're going to be classified 21st, 22nd, 23rd. And Jim Duda has a black flag, Sam. He has just come on pit road, and he's got a black flag.
He sure does. That's unusual. I don't know what this is called for. They are waiting for a couple of cars that got off pit lane late.
Well, could it be that
and circle the track, and so Kendall Paul is extended.
Could it be that they extended the caution to let the cars that are a lap down or took the wave around pit, and then
it's very possible.
And then
I know that one of the administrators had called out that there were some late trucks getting off a pit lane as they were gridding or getting, pairing up for the restart, and so Kendall Paul extended the caution period.
Well, I think that's probably it, Sam. That they had allowed in road courses. Now ovals they don't let you, but on road courses it is traditional that you would allow the wave around cars to pit once they've been waved around. But the sim will close pit road for that occasion. So in most leagues, you've got to then allow people to pit, extend the caution,
right,
and so on, because it's a closed pit at that point. So Jim Duda has a black flag. We'll see if the administration enforces that. We're looking out the back of the pace car at Logan Edwards and Kendall Paul. That is the front row, and that was the fight. It's going to be interesting to see Ryan O'Donoghue and see if he can't get his way back up through there. Even at pace car speeds, the Porsche 911 has trouble getting up the uphill, Sam.
It's hitting the skid plate on the bottom. Ryan O'Donoghue's truck, I've given it a copious look as he's going around pacing here. It looks like they've completed every bit of the repairs to the right rear of that truck. So hopefully he was able to get the complete damage fixed, and he is going to be ready to go here as long as he can avoid any kind of calamity from his 10th position back up to the front. As far as the front row goes, we are going to be interested to see exactly how this plays out between Kendall Paul, and as Kendall Paul takes a huge jump here, and just waiting to see how Logan Edwards will play it, if he plays it similar to how he did in the first stage, where he just falls in line, allows things to come to him, and then in the long run move up to the front.
Yes, he does. Everybody makes it safely through the first set of corners. Kendall Paul gets clear of Logan Edwards. Chad Winstead has Matt Sizzler all over his backside, and here comes James Hodgson now. Hodgson is going to go.
Kyle Wilson's on the outside of him.
Yep. Kylan Wilson's gonna hold James Hodgson at bay, move Kylan Wilson to 5th, Hodgson to 6th, and that's going to drop him into the clutches of Justin Osterman.
Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman.
I need the Jaws music. We'll have to get Kendall to change to update my soundboard. We'll play the Jaws music whenever Justin Osterman is behind him. But Osterman
and now we have Logan Edwards, and Logan Edwards is door to door
with Kendall Paul in the turn 4.
Kendall Paul, and now Logan Edwards decides he wants to run the pace here, so he moves his truck right up to the front.
Yes, he does. Drop Kendall Paul to 2nd. Chad Winstead firmly in 3rd. Matt Sizzler 4th. Kylan Wilson is 5th. Don't want to lose sight of where the 53 truck is. He is right on the tailgate of James Hodgson. They've got Chuck Sweeting in 8th. Colby Pierce is 9th, and the one-arm bandit is 10th. He's found his way past Pierce, found his way past Billy Elwell, so move Ryan O'Donoghue to 9th as Pierce and Elwell make contact. Turn 7.
Oh, that was so close. So they do a great job of gathering those trucks up, and Ryan O'Donoghue hits the thrusters, and he flies down the front.
They're not done yet. They're not done yet. Here comes Colby Pierce to the inside of Elwell. They'll run it wide.
Oh, they make contact again, and that allows Matt Wagner to kind of get involved into this race right here as these two move into the right and left-hander.
They do indeed. Jim Duda did have to serve the black flag, and so he is one lap down one more time, just to kind of keep you updated on that scenario.
Jim Duda has consistently been with us over the last few weeks. We haven't seen his son Jared over the last 2 weeks. Jared, a winner here in the Archway Industrial Truck Series. Jim Duda as well as a winner.
Yes, they are. And here comes James Hodgson down the inside. That's Kylan Wilson, and they make contact.
Oh!
Off into the Tulies goes Hodgson. He doesn't hit anything, but he's going to cut the grass at the entrance of turn 1, and that's going to be a very angry accident.
He overdrove that turn, and then
I didn't say
he's
angry
just at the mercy of Kylan as Kylan is just making his entry.
I didn't say angry at who, because he is just as self-deprecating as everybody else, as anybody else. James Hodgson going to be angry with himself after that one, but he drops it back to 11th. There's David Dunwoody in 12th. Dunwoody somehow got himself back on the lead lap, and he runs 12th. He's got Paul Witt right behind him in the 29. Well, now he has Paul Witt in front of him in the 29. And
despite what just happened to James Hodgson, he's still in 6th spot.
Well, he's dropped back to 11th. He's dropped back to 11th now.
Oh, okay. I'm having him scored differently. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So he's back to 11th. Justin Osterman and Ryan O'Donoghue are going to have a go. Chuck Sweeting has been passed by both. They've got Kylan Wilson in front of them. This is 5th, 6th, and 7th. And this is going to be the hot button battle on the racetrack for a while, Sam. Let's see if Osterman can navigate his way around Kylan Wilson, and what Ryan O'Donoghue is going to do to get by them both, Sam.
Well, it is going to be interesting. As fast as Ryan O'Donoghue is how he wants to make this approach to Justin Osterman and Kylan Wilson, who both have proved that they're willing to fight for a spot tonight. They're just not going to pull over. They're going to absolutely argue with someone about those positions. And Osterman drives it deep in again and catches the tailgate of Kylan Wilson.
Yeah, they're having an argument, all right. Ryan O'Donoghue, he can't just wait. I mean, he needs to go. He needs to grab those positions back because Logan Edwards, Kendall Paul, Chad Winstead are disappearing off into the sunset. See the mountains, beautiful view here in Connecticut. But Ryan O'Donoghue,
a great camera shot, a fantastic camera shot.
Ryan O'Donoghue would like the view of those mountains to be to not have Kylan Wilson and Justin Osterman in it. He would like to get around.
That's exactly right.
He would like to get around both of them. Look,
asphalt. He just wants asphalt in front of him.
Did you see how sideways Osterman got through turn number 6?
And he has drove the truck the entire event so far like that. He's just been trying to get every ounce of what he can get out of the tires, the truck, the motor, the hood, the grill,
the grass, the truck in front of him.
Oh, and he gets into Wilson again. And Wilson tries to shut the door, and he pays it back. But now he slows down so much it opens the door for Ryan O'Donoghue to get on the outside of him as they make their way into the no-name stretch.
It does. Here comes Ryan O'Donoghue.
O'Donoghue in the grass.
Yeah, he's going to have to give second best to Kylan Wilson there. And that's what Ryan O'Donoghue doesn't want. He would prefer to make that pass clean and get on down the road. Kylan Wilson, though, I would venture to say he's probably got the visor up, and that is another receipt for Justin Osterman. Wilson loses a ton of momentum. The truck way out of shape coming through turn 7.
Big run here by Ryan O'Donoghue. I don't know. He'll do a little peekaboo here, and he'll brake hard into one. It looks like he'll hold it, but a crossover move here by Wilson.
But that's not all bad because now O'Donoghue.
No. This is exactly how to race this portion of the racetrack. O'Donoghue's going to take advantage of it here in the left-hander.
Yeah, so that's the way you want to do this. If you overcook it, it's no big deal because as long as you maintain position there, you've got the preferred line for the next 2 corners. So you're just fine. Ryan O'Donoghue is going to go on down the road. Love that helicopter blimp shot following Ryan O'Donoghue.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yes, it is. You see the 14. He's getting on by Kylan Wilson.
It's like driving it looks like just a casual drive through the Blue Ridge Parkway here in North Carolina. You're just riding through the mountains and the greenery all around you. It's just a great shot.
You know, we were looking for a place to go. Natalie and I on our vacation, on a little mini vacation in October. Ultimately, she convinced. She didn't do any convincing. She said we were going to Disney World, but I reserve the right to take her on a 3 or 4 day October mini vacation through the Blue Ridge Mountains in Asheville, North Carolina. You will not find a more beautiful place on this earth than that. And this part of Connecticut isn't very far behind either.
Oh no, no, there are some very similar landscapes across the United States, but being North Carolina and all my life it's just really honestly you get the best of everything here in North Carolina. You have the mountains in the west, and you have the beaches on the east, and then the foothills, the flatlands. It's just really a good place to live. North Carolina's a great state.
It is. I do enjoy visiting it. What I'm enjoying right now is Ryan O'Donoghue racing with Justin Osterman. There are some receipts that are owed between these two. I guarantee you Ryan O'Donoghue has not forgotten. We'll see if he's forgiven. But Osterman is going to have to be careful because O'Donoghue does owe him a couple of favors.
So far, we've really not seen that kind of aggressive driving style out of Ryan O'Donoghue. Ryan O'Donoghue just seems to be the kind of guy. He was talking about the race last night in the Grand National Series, and he said there at Atlanta, it just got to a point where he just felt like, I want to back out of this thing. I really don't want to get in here and fight it out under these circumstances. And
whoa, Jeremy Dunwoody spins it in front of him. That was the smoke. Jeremy Dunwoody lost it under brakes in the turn one, spun in front of Osterman and O'Donoghue. Neither one of them flinched and continued to run exactly as they were. We're continuing to roll here. Ryan O'Donoghue chasing down Justin Osterman. This is by far the best battle for position on the race course. Donald Green chimes in and says Pigeon Forge. Now that's another fun one. O'Donoghue's going to get to the inside in turn 6. And I think he's not really trying to make that move so much, Sam, as he's trying to pressure.
Trying to set it up for the straightaway, yeah.
Well, he's doing that, but he's also trying to pressure Osterman into a mistake. And Osterman has shown that he's willing to make that mistake.
Well, he's also shown that he's not afraid to use every bit of the truck, so
including your truck. Oh, I don't have enough I've overcooked this corner here. Let me use yours to slow down. Thank you, sir.
That's right. I need 4 extra tires to get more grip.
But it is, and it's an interesting contrast, and you can see the differences stylistically in the two trucks. Justin Osterman's truck, the rear end's fishtailing everywhere. He's locking the tires up under brakes. He is using every inch of everything he has at his disposal, other than the slight wiggle that everybody gets going over the brow of the uphill. Ryan O'Donoghue's truck is solid. It does not waver. It's not skidding or sliding or moving around at all. And I'd be willing to bet we're going to see him make this move sooner rather than later. He peaked the last few times. He's going to peak again. Osterman moves over to cover it, but I don't know if he can do that much longer. Because he's continuing to lose speed. I agree.
And Ryan O'Donoghue, if it continues at this particular pace, he's going to have to make a decision about changing his approach about, do I... Oh,
whoa, Barry Seaman!
Barry Seaman is slowed down in front of him, and now they're door-to-door right behind Seaman. Ryan O'Donoghue will give way. And now that just opens a gap here with Osterman and Ryan O'Donoghue. But O'Donoghue's proved to be fast. He'll close that back up quickly.
Actually, whoa!
And that's the first time that we've really seen him get that out of shape tonight.
Well, and that was over the brow of the uphill. I was going to say a little bit more room for O'Donoghue through turn number 6 might not be a bad thing, because I think he's so much quicker through 6 and 7 that being behind another truck, that's where he shows he makes the biggest gains. Being right behind somebody else, Sam, might be to his detriment. Like it's almost like he could lay off of him and build a bigger run.
Yeah, and then you actually see too, as the fans have been watching this particular battle going on, is that where Ryan may be at his strongest is where Osterman could be at his weakest, and then vice versa, because even in turn 7, we see Osterman is able to really just take that right-hander and just that high-speed corner and take it for all it's worth. And that is really where you want to pick up the momentum to make your pass going into turn 1. And Ryan doesn't seem to be closing in turn 7 enough.
Oh, he closed a ton there. He closed a ton there. He actually had to get out of the power
And he's had to do that several times over the course of the last 3 laps.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's going to get to the outside here, Sam. He's going to
hold this spot.
If he can hold that line, he might be in good shape. Osterman, well, there's a wiggle from Justin Osterman.
Oh, here's a good. Oh, Osterman closes the door there.
At some point, Ryan O'Donoghue is going to become frustrated with that and use the bumpers. It's just a matter of when now, I think. But he's laid off of him. He's laid off of him a lot more than I might have.
He's been very kind over these last few laps, just trying to race Osterman very clean. And Osterman is doing what he's supposed to do. He's running his line. He's not giving him an opportunity to make a move on him. So it's not that in this particular instance that Osterman is doing anything wrong. It's just that Ryan is trying to do it right.
Yeah, and there we go into turn number 1, and right on the rear deck lid of Osterman is Ryan O'Donoghue. He just can't. He's faster, but he just can't quite get there, and that's what I mean. At some point, when does Ryan O'Donoghue resort to the bumper?
You got extremely close right there.
Yes, he did. We're going to continue to watch from the inside of Ryan O'Donoghue. Thank you so much to our friends at. Thank you so much to our friends at SimWrap Market for the cameras. Whiplash didn't have Lime Rock cameras, and so our normal camera supplier invited us to use SimWrap Market this evening, and we do want to thank them for that. If you need pictures of Lime Rock Park, check out SimWrap Market for your iRacing photography needs there, along with Whiplash Sim Cams, of course. We're looking on board Ryan O'Donoghue, looking out for Justin Osterman, and my goodness gracious, just wonderful pictures, Sam.
Oh yeah, there's no question. It's just it's such a tranquil and picturesque place to watch a race, but it's a feverish pace and a lot of nail biting on the asphalt portion of this racetrack.
There's Jeremy Dunwoody. That's
see somebody off in the grass. I thought it was Colby Pierce.
It was Colby Pierce. Okay.
Colby Pierce.
He's back on course now.
He caught the brow, and he just loses it going into the downhill there and catches the tire barrier. That was one of the places that I mentioned in the pre-broadcast. There's no runoff there, and those tires are a lot harder than you would think.
Yeah, let's see it. Here's Colby Pierce. Now, as soon as I do this, Justin.
Oh, now I'm sorry to interrupt you, but finally, Osterman just drives it in deep, Ryan O'Donoghue drives it deep inside of Osterman and collects the right rear, and Osterman is now just saving it, and Ryan O'Donoghue is moving on into 5th spot.
Yeah, and there you go. Osterman tried to shut the door one. I think he tried to shut the door one time too many. We're going to watch this from on board Ryan O'Donoghue, and Osterman.
That's a good call.
Yeah, he's again. You can only pull that move so many times, and Ryan O'Donoghue's there. And he's got the apex of the corner, and Osterman tries to slam the door. O'Donoghue's there. And so Ryan O'Donoghue will move along. Justin Osterman is going to move into 6th place. Interestingly enough, guess who is now behind Justin Osterman? It's Kylan Wilson and Chuck Sweeting.
His best friend, Kylan Wilson.
They've already had their confratons today, as Jackie Stewart would say, and now they're right together. It's amazing how that works, isn't it, Sam?
Oh, it's the racing odds are always working in that favor.
What is it? If you get in a wreck with a guy last week, isn't it virtually? And somebody's backward now. That is Jeremy Dunwoody one more time. We're going to stay with Winstead and Kendall Paul because Chad Winstead has just moved into 2nd. Kendall Paul back to 3rd.
Chad Winstead proved in the first days that he has a great truck on the long run.
He
So we will
hasn't.
see if he's if now Logan Edwards is not. I mean, we're getting within that 10-lap section where he really started pulling away in the first segment. But these two trucks have he's really not pulled away to an astronomical lead away from Kendall Paul and Chad Winstead.
No,
But
he
Chad
hasn't.
Winstead proved that he does have a good long run truck.
Yes, he does. And Logan Edwards has not. Again, you're right. He has not pulled away. He and Winstead actually running pretty close to identical times, 54.7s.
Ooh, Liam Anderson gets loose in front of Winstead here. That's going to slow things down, but he moves out of the way. He really pulls out in the grass. I hope he can save that truck. It looks like he will.
Yeah, he's going to get back on there. That's going to throw some dust and dirt up in front of Jim Duda. And then Matt Sizzler is going to come along right behind them. And here's what Matt Sizzler sees. The green gloves in the 3 birdies special for Matt Sizzler. There he goes. He's having
Call out to Matt Sizzler for running fourth. He's quietly just nestled himself into fourth position here, and he just keeps making clean lap after clean lap. He's doing a great job tonight.
Yes, indeed. And you know, I kind of hinted at it. This is a driver that I've seen a lot of from our broadcast of the NTRL series. He is very, very, very good, Matt Sizzler, and so it's not a surprise to me to see him running fourth, just because I've seen him run other leagues. Jim Duda goes off, Liam Anderson goes off. Sizzler, well, just right up the seam between the two, as you were. But now Ryan O'Donoghue's going to have to deal with those two. And this is the peril of road racing in a series that is predominantly run by oval guys, right? It's, you know, some of these drivers may have never been here. Some of them may not really like road racing. I don't particularly, Sam, like road racing at all. I don't do it very much. I do it only because I have to do it, and approach every road race as damage limitation. And that may be certainly what somebody like Liam Anderson or Jim Duda's doing. You know what I mean? Or Jeremy Dunwoody.
No, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
really does.
Or Matt
now,
Wagner.
I myself, I just am thrilled to road race. I am not the best at it, but for some reason I get so intrigued and enthralled in doing it, and so for me it's just the challenge, and to get out there just to make consistent laps and just try and pick up speed and learn from other drivers. It's always been something that I've been very enamored to, is the road course racing, especially in the NASCAR type series. I do love the GT series as well. The hypercar, I'm not near as proficient in that car. The speeds are incredibly blinding fast, but I do enjoy road course racing.
See, I'm the opposite way. You know, I've tried the lower formula stuff. USF 2000, I was not good in. Not good at Formula 3. Not good in the Indy Pro Series. I can hold my own in certain tracks in the IndyCar, but I love the GTP.
You can.
I love the GTP car, Sam. It's
yeah. I've had my fair share of ill wheels with that particular car, but the GT3 series I enjoy a lot.
You've got to get the tires warm. That's the main thing in the prototypes. If you don't wait on the tires to get warm, you're going to be in bad shape. Now, here's two guys that have the tires warm, and they have not stopped battling. These three, and it's like I said, you get in a fight with a guy 1 week, next week you're guaranteed to be together in the parade truck, going around the track waving to the fans together before the start of the race, right? That's kind of been Osterman, Wilson, and Sweeting throughout this one. Those three have not ventured very far from each other. Sweeting all over the rear deck lid of Kyle Wilson for 7th. Again, closest battle on the speedway. Logan Edwards leads it from Winstead and Kendall Paul. Was there so when you do you do the 24-hour races, the 12 hours of Sebring? I know you mentioned 24 hours of Spa, Sam. Do you?
Yeah, this will be my first. Endeavor at Spa. We are already starting some of our practices and working on setup information, and so this will be my first endeavor at Spa. However, I've raced the 24 hours of Daytona on numerous occasions. I actually have some podium finishes in the 24 hours of Daytona, and I have raced Sebring as well.
Yeah, and those are fun deals. I do those with the Black Magic team, of course. I've covered tonight that James Hodgson and I have an 8 o'clock in the morning date at the Glen tomorrow. We finished second in that race. We run second at Daytona. I've never cashed in one of those and would desperately love to do it, to win one of those endurance races. We tried to do the 1,000 kilometers of Fuji, the 10-hour race over there. That did not go very well. Of course, we did it in a Mustang, and that probably wasn't the best choice for Mount Fuji. I think you might have been better served in a rear engine car there, but I could not get them to acquiesce. They wanted to run the Mustang, but I would love to run Spa. I think that would be a ton of fun. But yeah, for whatever reason, we've always run the Cadillac, and we ran a BMW.
I love the Cadillac.
We've run the BMW once. Chuck Sweeting, big out of shape.
We'll be racing the Ferrari 296 GT3 this year.
Yeah, so you're gonna do the Ferrari. How does that car handle in comparison?
And by all stretches, it handles like a dream. The straightaway speed is amazing in the Ferrari, and so that's the car that we chose to run the Daytona the last 2 years, and we were exceptionally happy with the adjustments that we could make to the car and be fast. So I think the BMW actually has, and the Mustangs actually have a little bit more advantage on the technical portions of the racetrack, but the Ferrari, in my opinion, has great straightaway speed.
Yeah, and there's always that one car that's a little bit better, right? When you get into the sports car races, and each car has its own unique quirk. When the Ferrari was added, when the Ferrari prototype, the hypercar was added, it had a huge advantage speed-wise at Daytona, something like a second and a half per lap over the other prototypes, and they've since bopped it. But the Cadillac has always been a little bit faster down the straightaways. The BMW has always been better at the more technical stuff because it makes more downforce. So it's interesting.
Great car in technical courses. The BMW is fantastic.
Yes, but you don't want to take it to Daytona because you get out dragged everywhere.
Right.
So that's why you see guys they're running the Ferrari or the Caddy at Daytona, because those are the fastest cars down the straights.
And is it just me, but is there anything more distinctive about sound in a car than the Cadillac? The Cadillac is the sweetest sounding car.
It is a very sweet sounding car. Logan Edwards has the sweetest looking position. There's the leader. He's pulled it out 6 seconds.
And now late in this run, he is pulling away.
Yeah.
He's pulling away handsomely.
But no, you're right. There is no more distinctive sounding car, I don't think, in the sim. Than the Cadillac.
I said that. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's
And Paul has closed the pits now as we were approaching the end of the second stage.
Here it is. Yeah, and for the fans that may not understand what we're talking about, then the prototypes, most of those cars are small, either inline four or there are a couple of V4s, I think, even, but they're mostly either 4 or 6 cylinder, single or dual turbocharged units. They're meant to be very small, very low center of gravity. And then you have Cadillac, which has something like a 5.7 liter V8 that's basically the NASCAR engine or something similar to it, right? And it makes a very distinct thundering noise as opposed to the high-pitched whines.
That low, throaty.
Yeah.
It is. In terms of car guys, and
it doesn't make that high pitched whine noise like every other prototype.
It's definitely a sexy sound for sure as far as car noises go. It's good.
Yeah, it's not quite the Novi at Indianapolis, but it is pretty distinctive. Logan Edwards has taken the stage officially now, and we're waiting on everybody else to complete their laps. Justin Osterman has not pulled away from Kylan Wilson. They have drawn away from Chuck Sweeting. And Jeremy Dunwoody in front of him.
Right in front of him. Oh, that was close.
Jeremy Dunwoody gives Osterman and Wilson a heart attack. And we're waiting on James Hodgson to come through. He would complete the top 10 so that we can call this a stage. And there he is. The caution is now
There's the
out.
caution
Yeah.
right there.
Oh my goodness gracious!
I think Jeremy Dunwoody. We're just gonna give a Cub Cadet a call and see if they, the lawnmower company will actually give him a sponsorship.
We should, Sam. He has definitely cut the grass. We will be right back, race fans, after these commercial messages. Thank you so much, and welcome back, everybody, to the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. Do want to thank all of our loyal fans in attendance. We do have a big crowd here tonight. Do want to thank all of the sponsors in the AMA series. Of course, you've just heard from Black Magic Studios, also Admin Box, Trak Racer, Rogue Energy, and Archway Industrial Coatings. Archway Industrial Coatings are a St. Louis-based floor company that have been getting the job done for years. They do epoxy and urethane-based flooring solutions that withstand the test of time, all while meeting their customers' installation schedules and budgets. They're committed to doing the highest quality work at the lowest possible cost every time. Whether you're looking for industrial, commercial, restaurant, retail flooring, or even concrete repair at your own home, you found the perfect partner to get the job done now. Get ready to floor it with Archway. That's archwaycoatings.com. Sam, what are you looking for in this final segment shootout? We've only got 25 laps or so to go here.
Well, the restart is going to be everything here. Just Ryan O'Donoghue has finally worked himself up into a position where he can try to run with the really the three fastest trucks that have been in the event so far outside of himself, and that would be Logan Edwards, Chad Winstead, and Kendall Paul. And he's in a good spot here to try and latch himself onto those drivers. But of course, on the outside of him is Justin Osterman, who we followed fervently most of the race tonight. And then inside of him is Colin Wilson, and those two, and Colin Wilson spins the tires on the start. And Chad Winstead gets out to a big lead. And Wilson cleans Osterman out into turn one.
There's a mess behind him.
Sweeting.
There is a mess behind him. We race on. We're gonna get the replay of that. Of course, that had been a building story throughout most.
That has definitely been. That has actually been like a volcano. There's just so much under the surface that's been boiling there, and so we could have seen the receipt that we were talking about very well involved with that.
Yeah, here we go. We're going down into turn number one, and there you have it. Now, let's, Kylan Wilson had been trying.
I mean, he's four truck lengths back when he drives it in there, and he could have very well just overcooked it and just couldn't turn the truck into turn one. He was just trying to get to the inside and locking up the front tires, but I mean, he's 4 trucks back. I mean, there's no way he's going to make that kind of closing rate anyway. He just used Osterman's truck to slow his down and point him in the right direction.
We'll let the fans judge that one. But again, you want to be careful in judgments, because there is much more to that than meets the eye. Meanwhile, Kylan Wilson.
And what we would obviously just come to a conclusion about. That's why I mentioned he could have overdrove it. There could have been something involved from earlier. There's just a lot of things that could play out. We don't know what's going on in the helmet of these drivers at those times.
No, we don't. I know what's going on in the helmet of Ryan O'Donoghue. He's thinking, I need to get past Kendall Paul, and I need to do it now. I think there's a jingle somewhere out there. Ryan O'Donoghue doesn't need cash now. He needs a pass now. And
if he has been paying close attention to if he's been paying close attention to the relative tonight, he will know that Logan Edwards is extremely fast, and Chad Winstead is extremely fast in the last 10 laps of a tire run. And so hopefully he's going to try to preserve some tire here behind Kendall Paul, because Kendall Paul wasn't losing too much ground until about 10 laps before the stage break. So Ryan O'Donoghue may race this smartly in order just to try and save as much tire for a late run that he can get, because there's no question Logan Edwards has brought the long run truck tonight.
That's very true, Sam. The thing that I would point out, though, do you really have 10 laps to wait with 23 to go? Because you're fourth, you've still got to work your way past Kendall Paul. Not an easy task. And then you've got Logan Edwards and Chad Winstead. Winstead, by the way, just set the fastest lap of the race, 52.701. And that's faster than anybody has run. You got to kind of wonder, yes, it appears as though Ryan O'Donoghue has everything on that truck repaired, but is there some sort of non-repairable damage maybe from earlier, that collision, that may be slowing him down just that fraction, and it's not as good as it once quite was?
Well, these 3 trucks in front of him are not slouches. They're not afraid to push the limits of these trucks, and they're fast. And passing is just it's at a premium here in order to make sure that you set yourself up for those passes in just the right opportunities. And if you really think about those passes being in one location on the racetrack, you've got 23 opportunities, or less than 23 now, to make that pass, and you have to do it 3 times. So I think you're exactly right. If you're gonna make hay, you got to do it while the sun's shining right now. Matt Wagner has taken the truck behind back into the pit area and called it a night.
Yeah, I think he's just frustrated and done. I didn't see any contact with that machine, and that could just be he's had enough with 21 laps to go. Doesn't see any way to make any further positions. He's already 4 laps down. Might as well call it a night. Not like Matty Wags, but if you know you're not going to improve anymore, there's no real reason to keep after it. Especially if you're going to get paid 15th place points. It's a pretty good night if you're not a.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I would take that, and I'm not a road racer. So Wagner, he's getting passed by Barry Seaman. He'll be credited 16th. We're watching Ryan O'Donoghue because we're watching Ryan O'Donoghue, Kendall Paul, Logan Edwards, and Chad Winstead. Logan Edwards is all over Winstead now for the lead.
Now, Logan at the last stage, he just jumped out to the lead as quick as he could get out there, and I'm sure that he has that same mentality in this particular instance as well. We were talking about, trying to get these passes over with as quickly as you can, and they love that that leader with that clean air has proved to be able to pull away. However, Chad Winstead is keeping a mirror full, and this is allowing Kendall Paul and Ryan O'Donoghue to close it up. And for the first time tonight, you're really starting to see a four truck battle unfolding in the closing laps of this event.
Yeah, we're on board, riding on board with Logan Edwards, and look at how much speed he carries through turn 6. Closes right back up on the back of Chad Winstead. He's going to carry a ton through turn 7. Kind of a wiggle there. Winstead draws away. This is going to be the fun one. This is going to be a fun battle to the end. These 4 trucks are all really good, Sam.
Oh, I agree. This is the strongest area for Ryan O'Donoghue. I believe that Logan Edwards is extremely strong in this section as well. Kendall Paul seems to be on the uphill. It seems to be one of the stronger areas that he's driving. So all these drivers are really looking at trying to make sure that they take advantage of their strong points and hope that they can catch a break of the truck in front of them, that they will make a mistake somewhere along the line. This is the first time we've actually seen so much movement out of Ryan O'Donoghue's truck because he's trying to get all he can out of it.
Yeah, this is and I was going to say it's kind of a cool deal in that they're all 4 running fairly close together lap times. They're all in that 53 493 for Paul, 53 621 for Winstead. They're all in that range, and they're all much faster than Matt Sizzler in 5th, who's kind of riding along in his own little area ahead of Billy Elwell. Elwell's on an island back to Kylan Wilson, who's on an island back to Justin Osterman. And Chuck
kudos
Sweetie.
to Billy Elwell for the run that he's having tonight. We haven't mentioned much of him, but he's really done a great job.
Yeah, very quietly he's got Carey in the crowd watching him. The CHEP machine for Billy Elwell. It's got some bruises on it, Sam. It has had some excursions. But he's quietly soldiered home to 6th.
He's persevered in a good way. Yeah, he really has persevered in a good way. So really glad to see Billy Elwell having a good finish or having a good race up to this particular point.
Yeah, and if he holds it right there, he's gonna hang on for 6th, and that's a great run.
Oh, Logan Edwards really starting to get the pressure on to Chad Winstead here.
See, every time you make me break away from the battle for the lead, something happens.
Logan Edwards is really trying to push the issue with Chad Winstead, trying to get him to make a mistake. But Chad Winstead's like a rock. He's sticking it out here, and he's holding the lead as best as he can.
Yeah, isn't there a song from a late '80s Chevrolet commercial?
Yeah, Bob Seger, like a rock. Yeah,
that's right. I thought you said you weren't going to let me sing anymore, Sam.
Oh, I tried to say it for you before you sang.
Well, that just encourages the song.
Oh, there you go.
You got to be careful doing that. YouTube will get you with a copyright violation. You can't do more than hum a few bars now. They'll get you.
I can name that tune. And
as a funny aside. Bob Seger, whenever Evansville, Indiana, which is the town that I went to high school in anyway, the large town adjacent to the much smaller one I grew up in. They built a new basketball arena.
Here we
Chad
go, here we
Winstead
go.
sideways.
Logan Edwards, Chad Winstead gets loose, and Logan Edwards sticks it in there tight. Now they're door to door. He's going to make this pass and take the lead with.
Well, he's got a bad
15
angle,
laps
though.
remaining.
He's got a bad angle. He's going to have to be careful because he's going to lose all that momentum. Is Winstead going to be able to bring it back and throw it up the inside here going into turn one? I think he's too far back, Sam.
No, at this particular point, he may have used a whole lot of tires spinning them going on the uphill there. And so that has allowed Kendall Paul and Ryan O'Donoghue to kind of close the gap. But Logan Edwards now back in control at the front of the field. But we still have a 4-truck battle playing out in the closing laps of this particular Berkshire Mountains race in Lime Rock.
Yeah, we do. To finish that story off, though, they opened a new basketball arena when I was in college. And Bob Seger, the Silver Bullet Band, was the first act in the new Ford Center. We went. It was a darn good time, Sam.
I'm sure.
There might have been a silver bullet or two consumed in the box that I watched that concert from.
No.
That never happens, does it? O'Donoghue,
No.
he's going to make the he's becoming desperate now.
He's been consistently diving that truck as hard as he can into one lap after lap. No one has been driving deeper into one than Ryan O'Donoghue. He's
so much faster through the end of the front straightaway to the exit of turn 4. There's nobody faster than Ryan O'Donoghue.
I know we have a battle for the lead going. I understand that, and it's intense. I do want to point out that Justin Osterman has caught the back of the 21.
Oh boy. Okay, and so entertainment is.
I just mentioned it. I'm gonna leave it up to you what you want to do.
Entertainment.
But at this particular point,
entertainment
he is there.
Entertainment is where you find it, Sam. The battle for the lead is
entertaining.
entertaining.
Wilson gets loose.
He did.
And he's gonna let.
No, he's not. They're gonna hit.
Osterman. Oh no! I thought Wilson was gonna let him go there, and Osterman takes a right.
I mean,
make the corner, and they make contact. Oh.
And there's Jim Duda coming through, and Osterman doesn't, just going right down the middle of the course, and Duda hits him.
And now he's catching Duda here, and wow.
All right, Sam. So we're going to get back to the battle
Let's go back to the front.
Because Ryan O'Donoghue made the pass. All you needed to do was mention Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman, making a move in the back of the field. I cut to him, and what happens? Ryan O'Donoghue, he gets past Kendall Paul.
Well, how could you not mention it? Justin Osterman ran Wilson down from 4 seconds back, only for it to end up like that. So,
if you would have
heartbreak.
Heartbreak. If you would,
and in the meantime, we see Ryan O'Donoghue has passed Kendall Paul,
and that's what I said. Mike Rigney has joined us. Mike, if Sam would have bet me $50 that's how that would have ended up, I would have taken that bet.
Well, there's nothing short of excitement here in this particular race.
Receipts have been cashed in this one, Sam. Receipts have been cashed. I'll tell you who else.
Now they're gonna have to get management involved at this point.
I'll tell you what. I don't think so. I think that the point has been made. If I was the steward, and I've been a steward, I've been made a steward of leagues against my will, Sam. But I would have, I'd probably just say, well, maybe he'll learn. Anyway. Back to the battle for the lead. It's Logan Edwards, Chad Winstead, Ryan O'Donoghue are the top 3. O'Donoghue has caught him.
Trucks are so close now. Ryan O'Donoghue is really driving this truck in deep on all the fast corners, and he's catching Chad Winstead.
But you saw how long it took him, even though he was much faster than Kendall Paul, and he's already pulled a second. On Kendall Paul. You saw how much faster he was than Kendall Paul. It took him 12 laps to make that pass.
It was, and we were talking about that earlier. Is that he's just running out of opportunities to be able to get by these trucks, and We have seen a little bit more activity out of the 34 truck as he's getting a little more loose. He may have been pushing the truck really hard when he was out in the lead, but it doesn't mean that he's going to roll over for Rhino Donahue here. And Rhino Donahue is going to probably have to work just as hard to get around Winstead as Logan Edwards did. It's incredibly close here to figure within the laps. We have 10 laps remaining in the event. That to think that Rhino Donahue, and we see Winstead again get loose in that same area that Logan Edwards got by him. If that Rhino Donahue would have the opportunity to be able to get around the 34 and catch Logan Edwards, who has proven every single stage how much faster he is the longer that truck stays out on the racetrack.
You know, very much so. Down to 9 to go. This is the part of the track where Ryan O'Donoghue is so much better than everybody else. He is right up against the rear decklet of Chad Winstead, and Winstead's a little bit too wide there through the left-hander, now through the right-hander. O'Donoghue is there.
Really there.
Yeah.
Now this seems to be the portion of the course where O'Donoghue is really just very, very careful about how he drives it, especially as he crests here under the bridge and goes down into turn 7. We'll see if he's able to get a little bit of a run.
Oh, there's the wiggle.
Again spins the tires.
Yeah, huge wiggle from Winstead, and this might be O'Donoghue's best shot. Here he goes. He's gonna have the inside line.
Winstead gives a lot of room. That he was so generous with that right there. And now Ryan O'Donoghue has nothing between him and Logan Edwards but real estate, and he's going to make the close here in the final laps of this particular race. So let's see if Logan Edwards is as fast as he's been all night long late in the run, or if Ryan O'Donoghue has saved enough tire to get him.
Yeah, and what a move! And he almost pulled himself. Winstead did, fell back into the clutches of Kendall Paul. But all eyes now have to go with 8 to go on the battle for the lead. Ryan O'Donoghue is now in contact for the first time with Logan Edwards. You see him passing Liam Anderson there. Liam is circulating in 14th. A great run for his.
Oh, look how deep Ryan O'Donoghue drives that truck in.
Yeah, O'Donoghue's coming. He picked up 0.6 of a second that last time through. He is going to be there. It's going to be a question of whether or not Logan Anderson can hold on. We are looking at 11 cars on the lead lap. Edwards, O'Donoghue, Winstead, Paul Sizzler, the top 5. Then Elwell, Wilson, Sweeting, Osterman, and Paul Witt, the top 10. James Hodgson, the last car on the lead lap. You can see Logan Edwards fishtailing down
you can see the tire. You can see the tire marks on the track where Logan Edwards is just trying to get everything he can out of that truck. Oh, this is going to make for a great finish here with these two drivers. They're more than qualified to race this and race it cleanly. Again, this is probably the fastest portion of the race course for Ryan O'Donoghue.
It most certainly is.
The second half seems to be where Logan Edwards shines the most for himself.
Indeed, and don't mean to shortchange everybody. We never really got a chance to go through all the way through the field, but circumstances circumstances sometimes don't permit it. I am not leaving the battle for the lead, Sam. We are on board. We are on board with Ryan O'Donoghue.
I was going to see if you would bite. I just wanted to see if you would bite.
O'Donoghue ran it a little wide through turn 6, but he's going to gain it all back through turn number 7.
Watch how deep he drives it in here into 1. Look at that closing rate. That's incredible how deep he is able to drive that truck in. And that was actually earlier in the race. We saw where Logan Edwards, he did drive it in too deep one time, and and went wide on entry into one. It cost him quite a few seconds while he was in the lead, but he was able to save the truck and keep going. But it was one of the areas, by note, it was one of the areas that he did make a mistake earlier in the event.
Mike Rigney has asked, who made me an admin? Theoretically, in the series, I could be an admin, Sam, but I refuse that responsibility because I will use it unwisely. We've already discussed that. Meanwhile, looking off the back of Logan Edwards toward Ryan O'Donoghue, and I think this shot is a great illustration. Edwards so much better through the technical part, but look at how much Ryan O'Donoghue is going to pick up coming into turn number 1. And he's able to make that stick, Sam.
Yeah, no one else outside maybe Justin Osterman has been able to really drive it in that deep and keep it on the bottom.
Well, normally though, you would see a car that goes that deep, they would lose all of that advantage gain through the apex. Or after
they can't maintain the speed. Yeah.
O'Donoghue's able to carry the speed. He legit picks up 1/10 of a second through that one corner.
But it's right here again where Logan Edwards just seems to just really start pulling away as they catch the James Hodgson 88 truck, and they will put James Hodgson a lap down as well, and Hodgson will try and get out of the way here for the leaders and moves over and allows Ryan O'Donoghue.
Oh, here he comes.
Big closing rate right there as they're catching Paul Witt. Paul Witt will be the next truck to go a lap down, and so this lap truck will
he's caught him in a
play into this particular portion of the track. It's really hard to pull over in these particular areas. It's so technical.
There's nowhere to pull over. This is one of those places where there's just no runoff. You're gonna have to be careful if you're Logan Edwards and Paul Witt. Edwards is gonna go through over the brow. Now O'Donoghue has to get through here. He has to get through. Paul Witt runs it wide.
Goes wide out into the grass, and he's able to save the truck and get it back onto the racing surface. But O'Donoghue loses time here going into turn 7 and down the front straightaway as we have 2 laps remaining.
He did. O'Donoghue did lose time. Here's another shot. It'll show you how much time Ryan O'Donoghue gains through there. He picks up a legit 2/10 through that corner right there, that time through. And now you've got Logan Edwards closing in on Jim Duda, who is the next lapped truck up. And it's not a matter of the lap cars being out there, and it's not really it's not Paul Witt's fault that he cost O'Donoghue a little bit of time there. It's just a matter of where you catch them sometimes. It appears as though Logan Edwards is going to catch Jim Duda somewhere on the front stretch, and that's about exactly where you want to catch him, Sam?
Right, and Jim Duda's on a lap all by himself, so he's not really racing anyone on the racetrack. And if he's watching these leaders come up on him, he's probably going to be mindful about what line he runs, and hopefully that he'll give them the room that they need to get by. Because here we are on the final lap.
Yeah, and
he gives up the bottom to Logan Edwards.
He does.
Ryan O'Donoghue has not quite got up to him yet.
No, he's going to... So there goes Logan. There goes Logan. Do want to let you guys know that we're missing a terrific battle for 6th and 7th. Kylan Wilson has caught and passed Billy Elwell. Elwell is trying to get 6th position back. He'd like to have it. You've got Chuck Sweeting is an interested party, and so we'll keep an eye on that as we watch Logan Edwards. He'll come through to win the race. Ryan O'Donoghue is going to be second.
And now he's drifting through turn 1, but there are trucks still on the racetrack. They're trying to complete their circuits.
There are, and there is a battle right here. This is Kylan Wilson 6th, Billy Elwell in 7th. Kylan Wilson is going to have the better of it. He's had a day filled with interesting happenings. Kylan Wilson's going to bring it home 6th, Billy Elwell 7th, Chuck Sweeting right behind them in 8th. Justin Osterman's going to bring it through in 9th. And that is going to be that. John Hutchins is still out there. There he is. He'll bring it through, and that is everybody, Sam, to complete 150 miles at Lime Rock.
Oh, there's so much activity still on the racetrack right now.
I'm not showing any of the post-race festivities.
There's a lot of shenanigans that are being played out, but a lot of congratulations to Logan Edwards for his great run tonight. A lot of the drivers were giving him a shout out, and so it was a great drive by Logan Edwards. He showed great patience, good speed, and he persevered for another road course win. Fantastic job by Logan Edwards.
Yes, he did. He is the winner of the Berkshire Mountains 150. Ryan O'Donohue second. Chad Winstead rounds out your podium. Then it's Kendall Paul and Matt Sizzler. Great debut race for Sizzler. He brings it home fifth. Kylan Wilson is sixth. Billy Elwell seventh. Chuck Sweeting eighth. Justin Osterman ninth. Paul Witt is the first car one lap down. Only 9 cars on the lead lap, Sam.
Yes, sir.
9 cars on the lead lap. Paul Witt 10th, 1 lap down. In 11th, James Hodgson, John Hutchins. They are 1 lap down. Jim Duda and Liam Anderson 13th and 14th. 3 laps in arrears. And Barry Seaman, he'll bring it home 15th, 5 laps down. Out of the race, Matt Wagner, Colby Pierce, Jeremy and David Dunwoody. Jalen Story is going to be classified as 20th. 21st, that'll be Brian Sharp. And 22nd is Donald Green. I need to catch my breath, Sam.
This is exactly what I thought that it would be. I mean, it's the best. It's the best of short track racing on a road course. There were some very, very entertaining moments, and then of course there was some great racing, especially in the closing laps there between those top 4 trucks. Fantastic. I believe that Chad Winstead probably just used up a lot of tire. But we'll talk to him more when he gets into the booth here.
Why don't we talk to him now? Chad Winstead, you've got Mark and Sam in the P1 broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
There you guys.
We're out of breath as normal. We're out of Maylocks as normal. Talk about that 4-way fight for the lead there. That was a ton of fun to watch the last 20 laps.
Yeah, it was fun when I was up front, and then just couldn't hold it, man. Too many mistakes. I don't know. I was just telling Logan, I was like, I don't think me and the trucks get along on road courses compared to some of the other cars. Generally feel like I'm fairly fast on road courses, and then I get in this thing and I can't ever quite put it all together. But I was feeling pretty good there for a little while. But it was a heck of a fun battling with those guys. Everybody up front there was super fast and super racy. It's a tough place to pass, so kudos to them for racing as well as they did.
Sam, it's just it was so much fun to watch you race tonight. The first segment, it seemed like you had a great truck on the long run. And the second segment, it was the same way. It just seemed like you were saving tire, and then allowing yourself to kind of work yourself into the second spot and following Logan Edwards. Do you feel like that last run, maybe since you did jump out to that quick lead, that maybe you were just overdriving the truck a little bit?
Absolutely.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I was just thinking, as the closing laps were going, I was like, man, I saved tire better than all of them the first 2 stints, and then if I could have just done the same thing at the end of the race and stayed in front of Logan, then maybe I had a chance. But I was definitely driving the heck out of it. I mean, I felt like I had nothing to lose because I knew that they were faster on the shorter runs. So I was just trying to figure out, see if I could build a lead and then start saving, but it never came together.
It was a great thought. No, the strategy seemed smart enough, especially when the last stage was going to be, probably the shortest stage by all practical purposes.
Yeah, just looking, I'm still in the truck right now. Just look down at my tires, and I burned about 5% more off of the left rear and the right rear compared to the previous stint with 5 less laps or so. So
Well, it was a delight watching you race. Even with a third place podium finish, man, it was a delight watching you race tonight. Great job.
hey, appreciate it, guys.
Aside from the virtual Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, friends, family, sponsors, shout outs. The floor is yours, Chad. Floor is yours,
Yep.
Chad. My goodness, I can't talk. Sam. You guys have run me out of words.
Got to get you some water and some Robitussin or something there.
There you go.
Yeah, shout out to the wife Beth, who's watching, tuning in as always. The Pilot John crew, got Pilot John on the truck this week again. Anybody else, friends, family that's out there watching, you guys for putting this on, and of course the teammates over at Dark Horse, Kendall, and everybody for having me on board over there and putting this league on. It's a lot of fun. We got some good racing tonight, so kudos everybody.
Absolutely, Chad. Thank you so much for stopping in. Keep going fast, having fun, buddy. We'll see you at the next one.
Yes, sir. See you guys.
Absolutely. That is Chad Winstead. He comes home third today. Ryan O'Donohue will bring the one-armed bandit in here. And Ryan, you finally cashed a fast racing vehicle in for a podium. Got the pole, led early, cleaned out by a lapper, and then the charge back through there was interesting. What was the toughest thing about driving it from what wound up being second to start the, or 10th to start the second stage, back up to second?
Yeah. I just when I think you can find, every way to lose one of these things, this kind of thing happens. But, after that, to finish that first stage, I definitely had damage there, and it just wasn't good under braking. It was really hard to turn right. I had to get it fixed, and I realized, there was only 10 cars on the lead lap, so I just had to get through that clean. And got held up a couple times, but I was just hoping restarts weren't, crazy. And we got through 1 and 2 clean both times, and it is what it is. I'm bummed out about this, but I can't lie. But I practiced this one for a long time this week. I don't know.
Well, Ryan, you were so generous with your time with me last night, and we had a discussion after the Grand National race, and you were very generous and kind in talking with me. Do you feel like, though, that there might be a little bit of a momentum shift that could come out of this now that, even though you ran into trouble and the unfortunate circumstances kind of bit you again, you raced, and I do mean you raced your way back up to second place tonight. Do you feel like it's a little bit more justification that win's just around the corner?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't really let it get to me. I just kind of took a deep breath and looked at it like I practiced for this. I didn't really put myself in that situation all week. I kind of ran some, official practices and just kind of picked my way through and found those spots where those passes were available. And just kind of looked back on that and said we just got work to do. That's all. And I thought we were going to get Logan there. I think I used it up a little too much, started, spinning the rears and
right.
Logan
was incredibly fast on the long run. He was really fast on the long run.
Yeah, for sure. I was hoping to see that first one play out, getting out like that and see what that lead could do. Because once I had it at like 2.5 seconds, I started managing from there and tried to keep that. And then all of a sudden it was we're
you're out of control. Yeah, I get it.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ryan, you have nothing to be ashamed of.
Absolutely not.
P2 tonight, worth the price of admission. You made all of those moves cleanly, I might add, which was a joy to watch. And so thank you so much for that. But with the podium comes the microphone. Friends, family, sponsors, shout outs. The floor is yours, my man.
Yes, sir. Girlfriend first. She looked at all this data with me all week and looking at lines and really helped give you some good input, from behind the scenes.
Now wait a minute. If sure, That is awesome, because if I gave my wife the data book or the telemetry sheets, she would take the binder and whack me upside the head with it. So that is awesome. Please continue, and shout out to her. Absolutely.
Yeah, heck yeah. And Sam too. Always that definitely was a nice little pep talk last night. A little pat on the back. It made me feel better about last night's situation too. That helped us today. Got mass surgical supply on the car. They're close by to Lime Rock, about an hour and a half. Made something up for them. Tried to put it in victory lane for them, but didn't work out. Heat wave visual like usual. AMA. This league's so fun, man. Kendall, all the admins, all their sponsors, Archway, Industrial Coatings, Black Magic Studios, Trak Racer, Rogue Energy, Admin Box, and P1 Broadcasting. Like always, man, you guys do a great job. Hope everybody enjoyed it.
I know I certainly did.
I mean, every word, Ryan. Congratulations on your good finish tonight.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
We'll let him get out of here and celebrate it. Hopefully, he's got the use of both arms to do so. And we'll bring in the old narc brain, Logan Edwards. Logan, I asked Ryan, and I'm being remiss if I didn't ask you. Talk to us about that four-way shootout at the end, what you saw and how you managed to come out on top.
Well, first off, my pit crew, I need to go back to the training center. I entered pit road in the lead both stages, and I came out second. But really, it was all about mastering my weakness of starting on the outside pole every time to get it done. Managing tires, and this was really reminiscent of a classic short track. You really had to either use the bumpers or wait for a mistake. I didn't use the bumpers. Waited for a mistake. I got a mistake from Winstead, and I just drove off.
Yeah, that's
Speaking
what I
of
saw.
mistakes, can you just give us a little insight about how you felt when you dove it into one there and the truck just didn't want to turn?
Oh, I must have been looking at the trees or something. Thankfully, I had a big enough gap.
Oh, you did. You had plenty of room to get back on the racetrack.
Is that like the Nürburgring where you just aim for the tallest tree in the carousel? Is that how that works?
If I aimed for the tallest tree, I'd be on the mountain course that was never finished.
Very good. Well, thank you so much.
Logan, there's no question your truck was incredibly fast on the long run, so tire management was key for you tonight. And did you feel like you may take a chance in trying to keep up with Winstead on that last restart? Because he really jetted out there to a quick start. Did you feel like you may put that tire saving at jeopardy trying to keep up with him in the closing laps?
No, I trust in my ability to go fast and save. And that's just the situation I was in. I knew that he was getting loose coming out of the right-hander and up the hill. Kept running squirrely up that crest every time. I knew that would be my chance.
It was a fantastic job tonight. Congratulations on a great win.
Absolutely, he's 2 for 2 on the twisty, Sam, and because of that, he gets the mic. Logan, friends, family, sponsor, shout-outs. The floor is yours, my man.
Thanks to my brother Landon, he was providing me information from the broadcast, particularly watching Donahue climb up the field. I was keeping good track of that with him.
You mean to tell me that we were providing bad information? Because that's about par for Sam and I, right?
No. Y'all probably did a great job as always. P1. P1, these guys, they're great good people. And AMA for putting this race on, Luke Mansky Racing. That's about it.
All right, my man. Well, thank you so much, Logan, for your time. Keep going fast.
Fantastic drive tonight, Logan.
Yeah, keep going fast and having fun, buddy. We'll see you at the next one.
Oh, yeah. If I show up to another road course, if y'all have the infrastructure for it, I'd love to provide a pedal cam.
I don't know. I know that Gary can. We'll have to take that offline, but I don't think I can. He's got the green screen he's got the green screen thing that can do it. I cannot, I don't think. But that's something that we may be able to look at later on. So stay tuned. But thank you so much, Logan. Keep going fast and having fun, buddy.
Of course. Thank y'all.
That is Logan Edwards. I would love to have the pedal cam, my man. Sam, that would be so much fun.
Yeah, that would be a great addition to be able to add something like that to the broadcast. I agree.
Yeah, it most certainly would. Although I don't know that we could have added much more to this one. We had duels for the lead. We had duels for the midfield. We had duels as in I thought they were gonna take 10 paces, turn around, and fire duels. We had all sorts of dueling on the racetrack tonight, and that's what it's all about, Sam.
I would say some of those duels would be classified as Donnybrooks. So,
and by God, it's somebody with a steel chair. Anyway.
No kidding. I'm sure Kerry would have been really in tune for something like that.
With that said, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning it in. We had another great crowd here tonight. One more time, if you haven't done it, make sure you smash the like on the video, ring the bell to subscribe to the P1 Broadcasting channel so you can be notified of all future P1 Broadcasting events. Tomorrow, not tomorrow. Everybody's got tomorrow off, Sam. It is the 6 hours of Watkins Glen. James Hodgson and I are going to be teaming up, but a lot of guys in this field are going to run in that race, Sam. That's going to be a fun one. Sunday night, it'll be Gary Gonzo live with the Votive Indy Oval Series. That's going to be from Legacy Atlanta at 8 p.m. Eastern. Monday night, it'll be Jacob. My mind just went blank. It'll be Jacob and I live with the IndyCar Monday night top split from Mid-Ohio. Don't forget to catch IndyCar's Best Monday night at 8. On Tuesday night, the best oval racers in that car, they're going to do a Daytona duel, Sam. It's one of Gary's favorites. They do the 8:15 and the 10:15 race. Little podcast action in between. It's always a ton of fun. Do tune that one in. And then Wednesday, it'll be the IndyCar iRacing Series presented by 40 Racewear. That'll be at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard. And that is going to cover it up until it is time for more AMA action next week. Sam, for everybody at P1, for everybody at
loosen the belts. It's the weekend.
It is the weekend, and for everybody, from everybody at the P1 Broadcasting Network, our founder Gary Gonzo, my partner in crime Sam Crow, we do want to thank all the people that
thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, well, all the fans for one, but all the people that make it possible. The military, the police, the firemen, the people that do the hard jobs at night, the nurses in the emergency room, the EMTs, so that we can sleep sound in our beds safely. We thank you. The belts are off, Sam.
Yo, the belts are off, and now I hear the music playing in the background. Let's go enjoy the weekend.
Yes, sir. Restock the Rolade, Sam. I'll see you next week.
Okay, my friend. Take care. Good night, everybody.